Hi guys, just making a video. I haven't done a video in a while, and something I've been thinking about for a while now to make a video and post it on my Instagram page. It's about triathlon coaching and people getting into triathlon coaching. So here we go now, everyone's ears pricked up. Who am I to talk about coaching? So a little bit of my background is I owned a gym called MD Fitness in Coolock. I owned that, 11 years now, yeah. Was roofing, and then the Celtic Tiger, always into me soccer and into me gym. Celtic Tiger got hit, got let go of my job in roofing and just done my fitness certs, and after that I just saw an avenue then for fitness classes and eventually opened a gym. So that was 11 years ago. In 2015 I signed up to race Ironman Barcelona in 2016, so I was training for triathlon for about 14 months before I achieved that goal. And when I went across the Ironman finish line, I just felt really something different. And looking back on it, I was told triathlon would change my life, and you don't believe it. You're thinking it's just another one to get to that finish line. But when I got across that finish line, the big thing for me, I think, was I felt real pride in myself. And I think as an adult, I always say to my clients, as an adult, I think we're never proud of ourselves anymore. We're always proud of our kids. We're always proud of our friends. We're always proud of our family when they achieve things. You're proud of your pet if they learn how to bleed and go to the toilet out the back or whatever, but you never throw the pride on you. And triathlon is such a solo sport, and it's such, you're training on your own, you do all the work yourself. There's no one else to be proud of, only you, when you crow across that milestone finish line. So after that, I trained me two mates to do Ironman Maastricht in 2017, just to show them. I knew they were in the same boat as me before I done my Ironman, and it was just a real proud moment for me. And then I said, lads, I'm telling you, there's not a way out of a rat race. I'm talking like I'm out of a rat race. I'm still in it, but I'm enjoying my life while the rat race is going on. I don't think any of us gets outside it. But I just showed the lads, he says, lads, do this. I said, I'll give you a total outlook, different outlook and mindset on life. And it was literally a part of me coaching as well and learning, could I coach people to do triathlon? And when they went across the finish line in 2017, that was it. While they were on that journey, I started coaching, building up my client base. So I'm coaching triathlon about 7 years now, I think, going into my 8th year. And it's just a few observations that I made of myself and other coaches around me that might help people getting into the triathlon world coaching. First of all, I'm absolutely delighted there's coaches coming into triathlon. It was always going to happen. So people look at, if you're coaching and thinking, oh, there's another coach, there's another coach. I've seen it all in the fitness industry with gyms popping up and instructors, and I'm always delighted. The more that there's a competition, the more it makes you a better coach as well. But with triathlon, I think in 2015, I done the blessing and Olympic building up to Ironman Barcelona. Yeah, it was 2015, and there was about 55 to 60 athletes standing on the Olympic starting line. And me looking around, it was like before the Olympic, this is a deadly buzz. Look at everyone here on the same goal, the same push. They had to go through the same journey. And then just fast forward 2 or 3 years before COVID hit, I loved doing the race I done at the start because it was such an emotional and a milestone for me to do that Olympic. I love going back to do Blessing Olympic. I'm not actually even sure if it's still going ahead after COVID, but I done the last one before COVID, and I think there was 350 athletes on the Olympic starting line about 3 years later, 4 years, 3.5 years, 4 years later. So it goes to show you how much triathlon is booming, and people can see. Not that I keep on using the word way out, but just looking for a different challenge. I think adventure sports and endurance races, there's something there now that's pricking people's ears up to say there's something in this that I'd like to do. But that's the growth of triathlon back then, and that's with that growth, there's going to be a growth in coaches as well. So I'm absolutely buzzing that there's loads of people getting into triathlon. With my 11 years in the gym, I've helped so many clients and friends become qualified fitness instructors. And then when I got into triathlon, I see the passion in people. Once you have a passion for a sport, it's the natural area that you want to go in when you do it for a long period of time. You want to give your advice to people starting off in the journey below you. And the more experienced people we have, I truly mean it, the better it can be to bring the sport of triathlon forward in a good way. And then when we got into triathlon, I done the triathlon coaching course, and we qualified 12 ITEC triathlon coaches through that course. Some that are still clients of mine now, some friends, some people down the country. It was an online course. So I'm pretty proud of that I have qualified coaches all around Ireland that qualified under me as well to get into triathlon. But again, just not like, I'm not even going to call them rules and this is what you have to do, but it's just some observations I've made from my coaching and other coaches around me as well. And the first thing I'd say is, when I sign up a client, is my job is to make them fall in love with the sport of triathlon. I've seen so many people out there achieve great things in triathlons, whether it's times or whether it's PBs or whether it's distances that they get to, and you're talking to them after it and they're probably disappointed in the time they got, which you're looking at as a phenomenal time, or they're saying, thank God I got across that finish line, or I can take a break from triathlon, or I can give up triathlon for a few months now. That's not the journey. For me, that's not the journey. You should be loving the journey while you're doing triathlon and getting good at three different sports, if you want to call it swim, bike and running, strength and conditioning, finding out a little bit about endurance nutrition, and they should be enjoying that journey all the way. And I think it's our job as coaches to sort of pinpoint that the first objective is, again, it's not a rule, it's just my observation, that I want people to enjoy their journey. It's only a natural fact that if someone is enjoying something they're doing, they're going to want to do more of it, and they're going to want to do it for longer. So that's making your coaching journey with that client a little bit easier. And you might think, well, how do you know they're loving the journey? Like, I went through all this as well. Like, how do I know that they're loving the journey of triathlon? And it's just the most simplest thing in the world. Like, ask them, are you enjoying triathlon? Look, and you might think, oh Jesus, you'd never have to do that. You can just ask someone, are you actually enjoying triathlon? You're with me 6 weeks, you're with me 3 months, you're with me 5 months. Are you absolutely enjoying triathlon? And it might open conversation to them that they were thinking, do you know what? I'm hating triathlon, being depressed, fatigued, getting up early if they train early, not seeing the missus, missing out on family time. And that, as he said, it might spark a conversation, whether you're doing it with a group or whether you're doing it a one-on-one conversation with them, that he might get them back in touch with you. And then all of a sudden, when that conversation happened, their journey becomes a lot better because you understand what way they're feeling about triathlon. So, as he said, that's one of the first things I'll try to do. You're not going to ask them after 2 days, you're loving the journey, do you think I'm a good coach and things like that. It's just as time goes on, we expect everyone to feel the exact same way we do about triathlon. And when you're coaching, if they're not enjoying triathlon, you're probably not doing the fundamentals right, that they should be enjoying the sport. At the end of the day, triathlon can be as serious as you want it, but can also be a hobby. I think people jump into triathlon and think that they have to break up with their partner, see their kid, work shift work in jobs and have more time to train and things like that. You as a coach, as he said, I'm going to touch on a few different things that can make people love triathlon a lot more, but just you understanding that they're actually enjoying the journey and you have to adapt things for them to actually enjoy it, or like add more sessions in for them to enjoy it more. So it can work both ways. They might not be training hard enough to enjoy the sport, thought it was going to be a lot tougher than they did, or they might be doing too much and their life is not hell, but their life isn't enjoyable anymore. So making sure that your client is enjoying triathlon and falling in love with triathlon. I always say to my clients, I want to meet you 20 years down the line and say, wasn't that a mad buzz? Wasn't that a great buzz? Them 3 years you were with me, them 6 months you were with me, them 10 years you were with me. Wasn't the last 20 years a mad buzz because you're still with me? That we hit all them targets, we were out swimming in low rock, we were down and bleeding hard, man. We ended up over in Lanzarote, passing each other on the bike. Wasn't that mad buzz? Or even this triathlon buzz for war stories like that, when you're bumping into people with grandkids and you say, all right Nick, all right, that mad buzz, that triathlon gig, whether they're still doing it or not, but the more you make them love the sport, the longer they're going to want to do triathlon. And I've even said to myself, I said to Jenny, like, I get into triathlon, I can see myself swimming and biking for the rest of my life because it's going to be low impact on the body and I'll run for as long as I can. So that's my outlook on triathlon. Another one is getting to know your client. Not one plan fits all, if you know what I mean. So you need to get personal with your client and don't be afraid to ask them, listen, when they sign up with yours, your plan has to work for you, not me. So don't try and press me on day one and say, I can try every hour under the sun. And then you're thinking, oh, lovely, I'll give them this session, give them this session, give them that session, double days and things like that. And then all of a sudden, you have 14 sessions in for week one. They only can complete 5 because they were lying to you. They forgot about kids' sport. They forgot about the kids swimming in the morning. They forgot that they work long days on Wednesdays and things like that. And then all of a sudden now, them 14 sessions, they only do 5. It's off to a bad note and you're thinking, oh, Jesus, this isn't the coach for me. Look, I'm letting them down. And then you're thinking, oh, Jesus, I'm at that slaughtering them with sessions and they can't even do them. It must be too hard. I didn't judge them right. So get to know your client first of all. What I always say, triathlon fits in around life. Life doesn't fit in around triathlon, and that's a golden rule. I'm not saying rule again, but that's an observation I do. So many people with coaches give plans and say, right, make that plan work for you. Life doesn't work that way. You're giving them swim days that the pool's not open. You give them a turbo training session that you don't even have a turbo for. You're going out and giving them run paces that they're only getting into running, and you're asking them to run at 4:45s, and the quickest 5k they've ever done was 45 minutes. So get to know your client first of all. Your coach's job is to make your plan, which is their plan, fit in around their life. They're going to fall in love with triathlon a lot more because they're saying, oh, deadly, I can still bring my Mikey training Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll have an evening off that day, and that's when I do my early morning runs. I done the swimming on Wednesday and things like that. So making the client fall in love with triathlon is my observation at the start, because no matter how long they're with you, and if they still with you are when you bump into them for them war stories, you want them still doing triathlon and saying, wasn't that a great buzz? I got kick-started you, and then you went on to someone else, or you kept on doing triathlon on your own. You took a step back, just enjoying triathlon. Now it's a hobby that you passed on to your kids, and you got them into triathlon or gave them the right fundamentals to love triathlon to start. Making sure that the plan suits their life. As he says, triathlon fits in around their life, and life doesn't fit in around their plan. So get to know your client through and through. Get to know their work, get to know their work hours, what days they have work, what days they're off. Get to know their kids' sports. When can you train? When do you not? We always say straight away, tell me the days you want off. That's how I'll start. Tell me the days you absolutely want off. I have clients who just say, I want Monday off for no other reason that I hate Monday. I just want to get up and walk and then go home and crash out. And I'm like, that's absolutely fine. Because if I'm sending you out on a bleeding 15k run then Monday night, your life's going to be hell, because normally you like Mondays off. I'm going to be a brutal coach to you. You're going to be a brutal client to me because you never do the run on Monday, and then we're off to a negative start. So making a client fall in love with triathlon, making sure that the plan suits the client and not just the plan suits you that you want the client to do. And just touching base, once you have them two fundamentals started out, your program is going to work a lot better for the client starting in. And as he said about the sessions, picking the right sessions for your client as well is important. That you're not giving them too many at the start. And there's my Bobby running them up now. There's Bobby. There's life kicking in now. And anyway, isn't it? So there's life kicking in now, as he says. But not giving them too many sessions at the start. That, as he says, you're giving them 10, 12, 14 sessions to start off in week 1, week 2, week 3. They're coming back with 5 sessions, 6 sessions. And then, as he said, they're thinking they're letting you down, and you're thinking, oh, the client isn't up to what I want to give them. Your plan doesn't work for a beginner client. So if you're up to half distance and full distance, don't think that's the plan you have to give your client. Getting to know your client as well. So if you have someone that's chasing Kona, someone that's chasing world championships, someone's chasing the long distance, it's fine. You'll sort of gradually suss out that you can give them more clients. If you have beginner clients, just take it nice and handy. Don't think that a rest day is a bad thing you do. Sometimes when you get into coaching, you think, if I give a rest day, oh Jesus, I have to fill that in. You see the list of days and you think, I have to put something in. Or do you think I'm not running out of sessions? You didn't. We always say, sorry about using the word merely, but if I'm merely down the end of my road looking to do a sprint distance triathlon, what I'm giving merely, I could give her 4 hours, a 4-hour training plan for the whole week. And then you're thinking, 4 hours? Should I cycle that as a recovery cycle if you're a full distance? Or you have to give Mary more. You don't. You could have given Mary 2 25-minute runs. You could have given her a 30-minute strength and conditioning session. You could have given her 2 30-minute swims. You could have given her an hour bike on the weekend, and you could have given her a 40-minute walk, which, if that's maths in my head somewhere, and hopefully I'm about to get there, it's in around 4 hours. But that could be with 2 rest days as well in the week. That's absolutely fine for Mary starting off. And if Mary's just looking to enjoy a sprint distance triathlon, if you don't want Mary rocking up on a $5,000 carbon fibre bike with an aero helmet, a disc wheel at the back, and a 60mm rim at the front, get to know your client. All Mary needs to know about the bike is that it's well serviced. She knows which is the front and back brake. It's a safe bike to operate. There's a decent helmet from Halfords on her head that if she does have a little accident, it's going to save any serious damage. And let her go and enjoy it. She doesn't need a power meter on that bike. She doesn't need to be doing cadence. So get to know your client like that. I'm touching in 15 minutes, so I think 15 minutes is an Instagram video. So I'm hopefully that I'm not coming across with a few observations. If you thought it was going to be, you have to do double sessions, you have to do heart rate runs, you have to do triple days, you have to do swim, bike and run in this order, it wasn't. It's just an observation as me as a coach, that if you build up the fundamentals as a client, you're going to keep clients for longer and people are going to appreciate you more. So remember, triathlon fits around life, and life doesn't fit around triathlon.